Okay, what I want to talk to you about in this video is a concept, an idea of within yourself allowing the pendulum to swing. I truly believe that within ourselves, exploring edges and exploring extremes is how you come to a place of internal balance, and ultimately how you then create a life that reflects the internal balance that you've found within yourself. And so, for example, let's say that you've grown up in your life and your conditioning has been to be someone who is others focused. To the detriment of yourself is the way that it's played out, because you haven't done it from a balanced place. It's come from a dysfunctional, out of balance place. Yet this is what you learned from mum and dad growing up. Be very sharing, be very giving, others, and you've done it in your life in a way that's come at the cost of you. What's happening here is, imagine that there is a pendulum and you are holding it up, and it takes energy to always be so giving, to always be so others focused. At the cost of you, there can be resentment and bitterness, and it just takes energy to hold up this giant metal ball of the pendulum. And then as life progresses for you, the desire to do things for yourself, the desire to say, fuck others, I want to focus on myself for a bit. The desire of me, I want for me, I want more for myself, I want to do this all for me, I want to say no, and just go and have some time to myself, or have a holiday just for myself, or spend all this money just for myself, arises within you more strongly than it ever has before. Because your conditioning has been over here on the other side, there's shame, there's guilt, there's judgment, there's potentially embarrassment as well. There can be hatred and disgust towards yourself for experiencing such a desire. And so that pendulum has been held tight because there's the fear of letting that pendulum swing and the consequences that could come as a result. You could hit someone, you could hurt someone, there could be destruction towards yourself or others, and it's just like, I don't know, I've just never explored this. It's so uncertain. I've never been this way in life before. I've never followed this desire. I've never been that person before. In fact, I've been the opposite. Know that in life, there's going to be times where who you are becoming is so polarizing to who you've always been. And so there's going to be fear and resistance, because it's a huge conflict and contradiction against your current identity, the way in which you know yourself to be. And there's these questions, there's uncertainty. Is this actually bad for me to follow this desire and to just want to do these things for myself? Will people call me selfish? Will they cut me off? Will I be attacked for it? Will I be cast out? As emotionally illogical and irrational these feelings can be at times, they're still there, having a huge influence over your decisions. And so you don't even need to do anything yet. You just need to allow the pendulum to swing within yourself. It doesn't mean go and book that holiday just yet. It's just let the pendulum swing. Explore the edge. Explore the extreme of being insanely, incredibly self-focused, selfish, not giving a shit about others. Let the pendulum swing to the other side within yourself, mentally and emotionally. Because in doing so, in letting go and allowing that desire to come through, whatever it is for you, this is just one example here. In doing so, you will trigger doubts, insecurities, shadows, judgments, fears that have kept you out of balance this whole time. And like I said, it doesn't mean that you overtly go and start being a selfish dickhead in the world. This is all an internal process that I'm talking about here. And so as you let the pendulum swing, as you explore the extremes within yourself, this is how it will happen. It'll swing and it'll stay there for a bit as you're like, oh, that's uncomfortable. And as there's a release, it's as if there's an energetic hold that will just hold it here for a bit. And once you go through the discomfort, the fear, the insecurities, the doubts, the shadows, and allow the experience of being selfish or self-focused or self-motivated to move through your body, you'll eventually find a point where it intensifies, reaches its peak, pop, and then the pendulum will swing back. And eventually there'll be balance. And this is behavioral flexibility. This is when you will realize I can be self-focused. Well, actually others' focus was over here. I can be self-focused. There's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. One behavior is not right or more or wrong or worse or better than the other. They simply are what they are. And I've explored these edges within myself. I have the comfortability to be at this extreme or this extreme, which means I can now comfortably rest in the middle, and from a conscious place of choice, I can choose which one I'm going to engage in more or not, based on what feels good for me, based on what's most effective for the situation, based on what's most aligned in supporting me create the goal and the result that I want. And within myself, I feel internally still and balanced because I'm not fearful of one way or the other. I'm not trying to prove that I'm one or the other. I'm not trying to prove that I'm not one or the other. I'm okay with both. I have access to both. And I feel internally calm, still, and balanced as a result. Now, from this, you will find that your life will begin to reflect the internal balance that you've found within yourself, because the behaviors that you used to engage in that were dysfunctional, that cost you your time and your effort and your energy, potentially your money as well, by being overly give and serving of others for fear of being seen as selfish or greedy or an asshole. As you've now explored this edge and you know that you can go there and you're comfortable to go there, and you're also comfortable and willing to be seen in that way if people were to choose you in that way, you no longer need to engage in the dysfunctional behaviors of overgiving in an unhealthy way to make sure that no one could ever judge you as what's on the other side. Now, you could completely flip what I've shared here and say that you've always been dysfunctionally self-focused, and then in your life and that maybe that's worked for you in creating material wealth and success. Then there's a desire to be of more service and to give to others and help others. And parts of you are like, oh, but we'll never get what we want. We'll lose everything. We'll be taken advantage of. We'll be used. And so that's the extreme for you to explore. Now, this is just one example that I've inserted into this frame of thinking here, this perspective here for you. You can put anything into this and begin to explore your edges. Let the pendulum swing. And this, my friends, this is how you will continually be in a place of internal calm, stillness, and balance. This is how you will create a life of balance, because you have first found it within yourself. Trust you got some value from this video. If you have, send a friend over to the website for them to check it out as well, and enjoy the video library. Take care.